Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm John Reisinger.
Does the Nintendo Switch have enough games? That's the big question. I mean, yes, it's got Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is one of the best reviewed games of its generation, and a lot of people were more than happy to buy the Switch just for that one game. And granted, the Switch is just over a month old, and launch consoles are notorious for not having a lot of games, but still, I think at this point, a lot of us are finishing up with Zelda, and we're starting to ask, what's next?
My guess is probably something with Mario. I mean, that seems to be the next thing to do.
You know, you're not wrong.
Okay, good. Let's find out. Well, Nintendo's been announcing dozens of upcoming games, and there are some high-profile titles to look forward to, like Mario Odyssey. There's also a lot of ports, re-releases, and lower-profile games that aren't exactly must-buys. No offense, Puyo Puyo Tetris?
Okay, well, before we get too critical about the Puyo Puyo Tetrises of the world, let's take a look at what the Switch actually has coming up, because there are some new developments there.
Okay, Nintendo held a big direct yesterday to give us a better look at some of their upcoming Switch games, and we got some final dates for others, two big ones. ARMS and Splatoon 2 will be coming out June 16th and July 21st, respectively. In addition to that, Nintendo also showed off Minecraft for the Switch, which is coming out May 11th, and it even unveiled a Payday 2 port due out later this year.
Payday 2? Well, that's gonna be a system seller. But what else is coming for the Switch in 2017? Well, let's start with the games that are coming out the soonest.
So Puyo Puyo Tetris, not to be mean, releases on April 25th. Then there's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which Nintendo hopes will sell some more Switches. It's coming out April 28th. If Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sounds familiar, that's because it's a port of Mario Kart 8, which was one of the highlight games of the Wii U.
If you had a Wii U.
Yes. All 5 of you. The Switch version will include all of the DLC for Mario Kart 8, plus some additional characters and 2 new tracks.
Next month, Disgaea 5 Complete is dropping. That's on May 23rd. Oh, and Ultra Street Fighter 2 releases on May 26th.
Moving on, Sonic Mania and Project Mekura are coming out sometime this summer, along with the bullet hell game Sai Nomura X, the crowdfunded RPG Battle Chasers Night War, and a Namco Museum collection. Oh, and the Dynasty Warriors style action game Fate/Xstella releases on July 25th.
So later part of the year, we'll finally get Super Mario Odyssey, which along with Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 2, those are Nintendo's original IPs that they're really hoping are going to be the ones that convince people to give the Switch a chance.
Also, during the fall and holiday season, we'll get Sonic Forces and
what?
Monopoly.
Ha.
Sorry, I didn't warn you about that. I'm sure you're kind of taken aback. Oh, and Rayman Legends Definitive Edition sometime this year too. The adventure puzzle game Rhyme is due out sometime later this year as well.
Right, that's actually got a release date for every platform but Switch at this point. So,
okay.
Now, that's not a bad lineup of games when you draw the whole line out, but it does have a couple of issues. For one, a lot of the games in that list are re-releases.
Yeah.
Disgaea 5 came out in 2015, Payday 2, 2013. Meanwhile, Mario Kart 8 and Puyo Puyo Tetris, they're both about 3 years old. You know, they have some fresh paint and some touch-ups and extra features and all that.
2 new tracks in Mario Kart 8.
Exactly. Yes. But they're not new.
No. And you can put Ultra all you want in a game, but Ultra Street Fighter 2 is still ultra old. And Minecraft, you can practically play that on a potato now. There's got to be someone who's done that. That's probably not going to sell a lot of Switches.
Possibly not. Some of the re-releases actually do make sense. Mario Kart 8, it was an amazing game. Fantastic, but it probably didn't get the audience that it deserved considering it was on the Wii U. And while, yes, a lot of the Nintendo faithful had a Wii U, not everyone did, and everyone can love Mario Kart. You know, when I was younger, everyone in the family played Mario Kart, but my mom wasn't buying a Wii U. But some of these games are getting a little bit moldy. Rayman Legends, don't get me wrong, great platformer, also a 2013 game. So it feels to some degree, and we had some warnings of this, but that Nintendo is trying to pad out the roster until we get to the Splatoon 2s and the Mario Odyssey and the other big IPs. The filler is kind of old filler to some
Payday
degree.
2 is a good game, but I've played it.
Right,
like
are you
years
gonna
ago.
buy a Switch for Payday 2?
No. I think you can get it for like $2 like on a PC at this point. As the Associated Press put it in a review of the Switch, the Wii U failed in part because Nintendo left too many of its most beloved heroes idling on the bench. Consoles gathered dust because there weren't enough compelling games to play. The long-awaited Zelda is a good start for the Switch, but Nintendo will need to deliver this kind of quality more consistently.
Tech Radar says that the Switch needs to learn the lesson of another handheld that flamed out. the PlayStation Vita.
Oh yeah, that existed.
As Tech Radar wrote, it too launched to plenty of fanfare and with a string of high-profile titles to its name, no less. It even had a new Wipeout and a brand spanking new Uncharted game.
But despite that lineup and other cool games like Gravity Rush and Tearaway,
Persona 4 Golden,
the Vita was eventually abandoned in the West.
Yeah, that comparison between the Switch and the Vita, not entirely valid though. After all, the Vita was kind of a side project for Sony. It's never been their #1 focus. And it's safe to say Nintendo has a lot riding on the Switch. They're not gonna just forget it's there.
It's their main horse right now. And don't get us wrong, it's not like things are bad for the Switch right now.
It's selling fine.
It's doing good. It's off to a fast start, especially considering that it launched with Breath of the Wild. That's it.
And really, we all knew what we were getting into when we got a Switch to some degree. We're like, other games will come, but for now, Zelda.
Yeah, but one game, even an all-time great, isn't enough to carry a whole console.
Well, not outside of people like us, that is.
Yes, normals have to have more. Eventually, the Switch has to keep its current momentum going after we're all done playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, one thing the Switch has going for it, though, you know what? It's really fun to play. It's got a unique form factor that lets you pick it up, take it anywhere. I want to play more games on the Switch. I would go mental if Persona 5 came out on the Switch, but the question is, I mean, you know, how many of those games are coming and when?
Yeah. Hey, so what do you think of the Switch's lineup? Are there enough good games, new games, ultra games coming? What would you like to see? Let us know in the comments.
And do you feel like a Nintendo Directs yesterday with the announcement that they had helped to fill that out at all? Let us know. And for all your Switch and Nintendo news, including what games it's going to be getting and when, make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
Will be coming out June 16th and July 21st, 21st?
You're talking about Colin first.
Oh, and Disney Warriors style action game Fate / Xstella. I said Disney, didn't I?
You did.
I totally read Disney. That wasn't even like a total, that was like I just read Disney.